Hello there, and we are live. See ya, ladies and gentlemen. See, today it's second episode of the Dal and Claude Premier League show. See ya, guys. No one does it better than me and this my friend down here. Yeah, see,
Oh shit.
after that win against FC Barcelona, it's not big enough. It's nothing. It's just a preseason game. Yeah, I understand that. And then then came the champions. Yeah, the European. See, guys, let me specify it. Yeah. Then came the European champions, the three-peat champions, the English champions, the FA Cup champions. Yeah, guys. See, I have no other person than to deal with these issues and and the other things that are gonna pop up today. No other person than my guy, my brother, Oregon Gooner. It's a Gooner.
Pooh, pooh, pooh. What's up, bro? Thank you for that great intro. That's fantastic. I
Yeah.
appreciate the effort and time you put into all the graphics, the videos, Tony.
Mm,
It's top notch work, man. You're one of the
yeah.
hardest working guys in the Arsenal YouTube community for sure. So props to you, my bro. And again, thanks for having me on. Episode
Yeah.
2, I see Jazz pop in. I see
Yes. Yes.
live.
Our big brother Jed is in the house.
We
See,
got
Jez, man. Jez, I don't know what more to say to you, man. I don't know what else to say to you. I always told you, you're like a father to me, yeah? Big ups to you. Thank you for always coming down here to show me love. I know I'm not the most perfect person, but thanks for always coming down here and just showing me that love, man. Thanks from the heart. Love you, Jez, man, to the
Yeah,
core.
big up, Jazz.
Yeah. All right,
That's
doing
the
good now. See,
guy.
I
Yes,
want you
sir.
to take us. I want you to take us through. Yeah. See, I don't want it to be this very serious thing. Yeah.
Sure,
Just
okay.
take us through that matchup yesterday. What was your thought process? What happened yesterday? Yeah. Just take us through it
What
before we
happened?
start talking about if we should internalize the win, if it
Right.
is something very important, if it helps our mentality, if it does totally nothing. You know, we'll touch on that later on.
Right.
Just take me through a time by time analysis of that matchup
Oh
through
boy.
your eyes.
Well, the first half we all saw was really kind of disjointed and crappy. I mean, none of the passing was working out. The runs weren't really working out. City had us, pinned in pretty well, I thought at times. Um, but what they weren't doing, Tony, is they weren't putting long balls into Holland.
Hmm.
They weren't putting chips into Holland for him to run onto. He
Hmm.
barely had a sniff. He had a 0.0 xg if you want to dig into the
Zero
stats,
point zero xg.
which just
Exactly.
goes to speak to the efficiency that Gabriel and Saliba had together.
Hmm.
If we can stop Holland from scoring, they're going to struggle. And Mahrez was, I think, a huge miss for them, and I think Gudawan is a harder miss for them as well. So I think we do see a slightly weakened City side, and I know the counter to that is KDB, Grealish, obviously Holland.
Hmm.
They can find somebody on the right.
Hmm.
Foden can fill in there, and they're of course probably one of the strongest teams, the top 3 or 4 squads in world football, right? So I'm not trying to
Hmm.
take away necessarily from the ability the City has to rip teams apart with the players they have, but we saw them a bit weakened. Now, did they really get out of third gear? Maybe. I saw them at times. Rodri was playing that game like it was a final,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you
He
know
was putting all his energy. He was running up and
that's
down,
the
box
but
to box. I don't even know if he was a defensive midfielder again. He was box to
right,
box to me
but good for him
yesterday.
because that's the mentality we need to have as well, right? And that's
Hmm.
the mentality we went in with Barcelona and we did with MLS. And I'm
Yeah,
not going to talk the MLS game. That was obviously Wayne Rooney got the short end of the stick on that one with a bunch of players he didn't even fucking freaking know. So the
exactly.
MLS game, that was going to be a demolition from day one. But again, I go back to the Barcelona game. We beat the Spanish champions, and now we
Hmm.
just beat you know the English
The
champions.
European champions, three-peat
So,
champions,
right. I
FA Cup
mean,
champions, English champions.
is it
My
a
brother,
fluke?
sometimes we have to
Well,
specify
yeah,
it, yeah?
right. And I'm
Mm,
not saying that that's going to just make us these invincible giants for the rest of the season. I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to mix my words, right?
Mm,
But the momentum that gives us, and the outlook that the players should have, and the confidence they should have in themselves for beating top teams, no matter what. Like I was telling you earlier, if Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Spurs, Villa, Brighton, any of those other clubs were to go against Barcelona and Man City in a 10-day span and not be
mm,
excited for having won those games, then are you
yeah.
really a fan? Because the fact
Mm,
of the matter is, those teams were both very strong. It wasn't
yeah.
like Barcelona B team. It wasn't Man City's B team, right? They both
Yeah.
put out strong squads. When you put out Lewandowski and Pedri, you're out there to win. I don't care what teams they're on, right? They're in Barcelona for now, but you're
Yeah.
out there to win. So
Mm,
I'm extremely excited for what I saw in preseason. I don't want to go, spunking everywhere, thinking that
yeah.
it's going to be this, that we're going to go on this terror again like we did last season, because the teams
Yeah.
are going to be better. They're going to know how to play us, and they're going to be looking for us to make mistakes and pounce on those mistakes during matches. But I'm
Mm,
still very positive from what I saw, Tony. Um, excuse me. Going back to the City game, though, that first
mm.
half, yeah, they didn't get the ball to Holland. We noticed that they didn't get the long ball in. He wasn't, he wasn't making his runs, and I don't know if there was just a lack of effort there. But again,
Mm.
I think they came to win. They played like they came to win. Um,
Exactly.
I
They
just
came
I
to
don't want to
outmuscle us.
it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter, but the mentality part matters. We
Mm,
went there, we beat them on penalties, and I've said this before. I think on another stream the other day that I would take a 1-1 draw at the Etihad if it's in the middle of the
exactly.
season and we're in a title fight and we have to go to City and we
Mm,
get a 1-1 draw. That's
yeah.
better than a 4-1 drubbing, right? I mean, it's going to be difficult to beat them. I'll take a win or a draw. But I will take a 1-1 at the Etihad any day in the middle of the season, because I don't think we
Mm.
play them until later on in the season. I
Play
don't think.
later on in the
Yeah,
season.
so a
Mm.
1-1
See,
may
yeah.
be a significant thing for each
Yes,
team.
yesterday I was watching Jets. Of course, I like watching Jets show
Yeah,
wherever you go.
I do too. Shout out Jets.
Uh, I was watching Jets and Lee Gunner yesterday. Yeah, they
Right.
were talking up. They were talking up the match yesterday. Uh, Jets said it. Pop and Claire. Both teams were a little bit.
Rusty.
They were not at par.
Yeah. Right.
Yesterday, and you could see it. Yeah. When was the last time that Dal? I just want you to look at it from these lenses. Yeah.
Sure.
When was the last time? Yeah, that a team. Yeah, made Holland as a player
Hmm.
come up with an XG ratio of 0.00.
Yeah.
When was the last time? In the first
Yeah.
half, in the first half, can you believe it that Holland didn't even have a shot on target? Let that sink in.
Hmm.
And let me know the last time you heard this Viking King, yeah, not get a shot on target in the first half of any game last season.
Right.
Of any
Very
game.
true.
If you could
Yeah.
remember, yeah, please just let me know.
Just the first half
Yeah,
alone. You're right.
exactly, exactly. So, see, I'm not saying Arsenal played quite the perfect game.
Hmm.
There were lots of holes in that,
Right.
in
Of
that
course.
in
Right.
that matchup yesterday. Lots of holes, lots of things to be desired. We'll get into all those loopholes, yeah.
Hmm.
But right now, I just want to look into that matchup, yeah, and look at it from the lenses of these are the European champions, yeah. These guys are the English champions. They just won
Sure.
the FA Cup, yeah. Won the league three in a row. A blessed manager, probably the greatest manager of all time. Yeah.
Hmm.
To what extent would you say that Mikel Arteta contributed to winning that matchup yesterday? I want to know. Because see, yeah,
Yeah.
see, Manchester City has been a difficult team to beat for any manager, yeah, in
Yeah.
this league.
For sure. Absolutely.
The past managers at Arsenal didn't even have an answer to him.
Mm.
Freddie Lundberg lost to this Manchester coach. Unai Emery lost to this coach.
Right.
For crying out loud, the legend himself, Arsene Wenger, couldn't even find the answer to this potent Pep Guardiola side. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if not that FA Cup, it will be 16 in a row that Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
have lost against this lot. So
Right.
going into this game, you see that Arsenal should be going in there not for that trophy, because what is that trophy? Mickey Mouse Cup to me,
Right.
but in the general sense, it's still a cup. But I
Sure.
get that, yeah.
Right.
But it's
Me
not a
too.
major trophy. I want to see Arsenal win major trophies. But again, the mentality was what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted Arsenal to
Right.
go into this matchup and go and win. Arsenal showed up yesterday, faced Manchester City squarely, and got back their mentality that they've lost all
Mm-hmm.
through 16 games against this team. To what extent would you say yesterday that Arsenal were able to wrestle their mentality back with this team, mostly improving their belief against facing this team?
Right.
And to what extent did Mikel Arteta in any way try to galvanize these people, or did he even really contribute to the win yesterday?
Yeah, I think Arteta had a plan.
Hmm.
I think he always goes in with a plan, right? That's plan A. But when things don't go the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
we
yeah,
want to, right? Go the
yeah,
way we
yeah,
want.
sure, sure.
We don't
And
have that
pretty
plan
much
B, right?
inexperienced, just like last
Right.
season.
Right.
Hmm.
But I think what I saw in some of the highlights going back looking at that game that I may have missed during the game, right? Watching watch-alongs and chatting, with everyone on the phone and yelling
Hmm.
and screaming, right? That Declan Rice was an engine yesterday. There was some highlights of him coming from the attack, running back to defend, and nipping the
Yeah.
ball off one of their midfielders and making a forward pass, and we would get right back
Mm,
into attack again. And that's the sort of energy we need. What I saw in that second half, especially, was a lot more energy from us. It's kind of like, Holland didn't do anything. Let's take advantage of that, and then
let's take
just
advantage of that.
and like Jez is saying in the chat, he made a statement, and
Mm,
that's what we need to do. We need to make statements. We're a team that needs to, we come in as the underdogs because people think, oh, we're going to bottle every match. I think a lot of these, opposing fans think, but then we
yeah.
come in and we make statements. So every statement that we make gets the mentality further along, right? It builds more
Mm,
confidence in the players. And like Emmy's saying here, yeah, nobody's trying to get ahead of ourselves from the win, right? We have mentioned that it's basically a mental booster. So you'd be
it's
100%
just
right.
a mental
That's
booster.
all I
Yeah.
want from it. And you could
Yeah.
see that mental boost, the excitement in their faces yesterday. Arteta jumping around. If people say, yeah,
No, any Arsenal fan
the
who
goal
jumps
is not
around,
there,
who goes
you
on a
know,
street jamboree at this
yeah,
time, I'm sorry, you're just deceiving yourself. City are
correct.
still the
Correct.
favourites for this title. I don't know about what you think. I still think City are still favourites. But
For sure.
again, the mentality, just like what we're talking about, the mentality is very, very important.
Right.
Uh, you have to get to a level of mentality with these guys to be able to even attempt to beat them. Many
Hmm.
of the teams that face Manchester City lose the game even before they get into the pitch
Right.
playing these guys. Not
We've
talk of even
done
going
many
to
times. Right.
the Etihad and facing these
Right.
guys. But see, yeah, yesterday, what did you see were the tactics of Mikel Arteta? Because of course it's good. Jess said something about Mikel Arteta. You've said something about Mikel Arteta.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't think it was, a perfect plan or something like that. Yeah,
No,
because
no, of
if it
course not.
was a perfect plan, we'll be beating those guys like 4-1, 3-1. So it wasn't really a perfect plan. But
Right.
yesterday, what were the right things that Mikel Arteta did
Um,
yesterday?
I, I think you got the lineup somewhat right. I don't think I would
Mm,
have played Havertz as striker, but we all know in some way, shape, or form that's what he was brought in for, right? Even though we think he's a replacement for Granit Xhaka, but it's starting to look like Rice is the replacement for Granit Xhaka. So I
But
think
come
we're all
on,
kind of
man. At
getting our
least it wasn't in
positions
Katia.
switched
At least
around.
it wasn't in Katia.
Yeah,
See, Mikel Arteta gained my
better than 10
respect
years.
yesterday in just doing that. Yeah,
Mm,
because we all know he's a sucker for Eddie Nketiah. he loves this guy. Yeah.
Right.
No matter whatever is happening, no matter the external factors or whatever the press is saying, he always gives this guy a chance ahead of Trossard. To me, that's
Mm,
unbelievable. But
right. Oh,
see,
me too.
for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to even put Kai Havertz there yesterday, even if Kai Havertz didn't, really show up to the party, I'll
Hmm.
still give him more time. We'll get into that later on, Dow. But
Sure.
at least he didn't put Eddie. We don't have our number 9 there. He didn't just
Right.
put Eddie Nketiah there. I was so impressed with that
Mm.
decision.
I was
But
too.
I don't know
I
about
was
you.
too. Right. And I would rather have Havertz in there than in Nketiah. Right. It's kind of
Exactly.
the lesser of two evils in some aspects. But he had a
Exactly.
couple good chances that he didn't bury. Maybe a more prolific striker would have finished. Possibly Jesus would have finished those two chances. But at the same time, I thought the lineup was good. He put Timber at left back. I really kind of want to see him at right back because I wanted to see him go against Grealish. Um,
Mm,
but Ben White has pretty much solidified that position for himself, which I have no problem. I think I gave him a 7 or an 8 yesterday because part of the time is too you don't hear their names mentioned, and it means they're not doing anything bad, right? Which means they're doing good. So Ben White I
yeah.
thought was invisible yesterday, which means he was playing well. So with that said, I think that he got it right with the tactics as well because I didn't really see us just pull back and sort of cower. I thought we were fighting for 50-50 balls. Yeah, it looked ugly, but I didn't think for a minute there that we really were just sort of caving in. I didn't really get
Mm.
that feeling.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
felt
get
like
that feeling
we had
either.
more energy about us, and a lot of that obviously came from Timber and his performance, which was man of the match um, performance in my eyes. I think in a lot of other people's eyes as well. But we
Mm.
didn't cave in. Like we didn't let that Man City shark keep just biting at us. I mean, they're
Just keep
going to take
fighting,
bites,
yeah.
but we
Mm.
were ready for it. We seemed more composed and ready for their attacks. And
Yeah.
again, they weren't getting long balls into Holland for him to just run onto,
For him
like
to
we
just
saw
run off
last.
and have a one on
So,
one.
so again, Pep, he changed his style. He changed the style. He had a certain style before Holland came, and then Holland came and he changed his style to more of a long ball style, is what I saw. Maybe people saw something else, but I saw a lot of long balls to Holland for him to just
Yeah.
run onto and put in the back of the net. He wasn't able to do that yesterday,
Mm.
which I think
Yesterday.
was taken away from Guardiola's plan A. So they had to come up with plan B because
With a plan B.
we didn't fall into our shell so much. And I got to give
We almost fell into their trap
that.
yesterday when
Right.
Palmer got a goal. And
But
see it
Tony, my
now.
point is, I got to give credit to Arteta for that, for at least
Mm.
motivating and hopefully giving something to the team before the match. He's
Mm.
not a George Graham, he's not a Wenger, and I'm not giving my 100% support behind him, but I'm going to
Yeah.
support him when he makes good decisions and when we get wins and at least play hard. Like I said, I would take a 1-1 at the Etihad in the middle of the season if we're in a
Mm.
title challenge because a 1-1 means at least you didn't let City freaking run all over you, which they've
True.
done in the past. I just don't want to get ran over by them. We lose 2-1,
Exactly.
we lose 1-0.
That's what I was saying.
We give a fight and we have some shots on goal, then I'm still proud of the boys. But I'm not.
Exactly.
We cannot lose 3-0, 4-1, nil, whatever
Three
to
nil.
any team
Those embarrassing
anymore.
defeats.
It's
Those
unacceptable.
embarrassing defeats. It hurts me. Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing hurts me more than an embarrassing defeat. That's why when some of the fans were walking out last season, yeah,
hmm
mostly in a home game against Brighton, these guys don't pay the expensive, one of the most expensive tickets in England to
yeah,
come and watch crap
yeah.
football. Yeah.
Right.
So when they walk out, I think it's it's their right, man, because they don't want to come watch us being beaten, not even by Manchester City, yeah, but by
Right.
Brighton at home. Disgraces. So that's why that's why this season, yeah, whenever I see Arsenal show up and scrap,
Mhm.
yeah, I will rout them. And
Yeah.
to be very sincere, everyone in the press, everyone was really thinking that City would do a number on us, on this one. Everyone has sampled their opinions. Were all telling me 3-1, 4-1. The
Yeah.
in-house Manchester City guy who is here always on the man. He
Hmm.
said that they're gonna massacre us 4 goals to 1.
Right.
You see the cockiness, the arrogance. Yeah, these guys don't take Arsenal serious.
Right.
And to be very sincere with you, I don't blame them. It's how Mikel Arteta has been setting up this team
Hmm.
to face this set of champions, and he hasn't been setting up quite well in previous matches, but there was something about the setup in this matchup. Yeah,
Right.
if you notice, we had up to about three of our forward players actually leading the presser yesterday.
Hmm.
Kai Havertz was leading the presser yesterday. Odegaard was leading the presser yesterday. Many of the Saka was leading the presser yesterday in the first
Yeah.
half. Yeah, we kind of contained these guys yesterday. That made sure that they didn't have any kind of like viable distribution network.
Hmm.
Themselves and getting or progress into that into midfield options. Yeah, but we made sure in the first half that we actually curtailed them, and of course, when uh, your when your when your goalkeeper, your first choice goalkeeper
Yeah.
in Edison isn't there, you have to take advantage. We all know Edison is a ball playing goalkeeper, top notch when he's distributing. Yeah. This just goes to show you that when Manchester City is being stretched,
Hmm.
when they've lost one or two players that are very, very influential to that team, they will gasp for air. And when
Right.
you match them fire for fire, but in a controlled manner, you
Hmm.
will they will make mistakes. They're human after all. And
Right.
that's what we saw yesterday. They couldn't breathe, they couldn't cope.
Right. And that's what part of, like, I think with Tottenham's success with them is they've learned a way to beat them that we just haven't learned. I mean,
Mm,
it was a fluke. Trossard hits the ball, hits off a Kanji's fat ass, and goes in the goal. I mean, that happens, right? I mean, I know, but the thing is that we did it again. We didn't succumb to pressure.
mm,
Even after they scored that goal, and after we scored, they could have scored again, right?
mm,
Obviously, but we
mm.
didn't succumb to that pressure. We didn't go fall back into our shell, and we even
Fall
had
back into our shell, roll over, and
right.
concede
And
like three or
even
four
during the
goals.
penalties, we stood up and
Mm,
were strong and so forth. So I think that Mikel Arteta does get some praise for what he set out to do yesterday. I think he had a game plan. I don't think at times it went according as to plan, but I don't. But I think that same thing happened to
mm,
Guardiola. Things weren't happening as well. And I'm sorry, Kovacic is not as good as Gundogan.
yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Kovacic is not as good as
Yeah,
Gundogan. I mean, it
but
just
he had a good game yesterday. For some reason,
yeah.
Kovacic had a good game yesterday.
I think
But you know,
Gundogan would have been
see,
a difference
lots of
maker for
things.
them.
See, Oregon Gunner, it's me
Yeah,
and you, yeah, man. We got all night. Lots of things to talk about, man.
yeah.
See, there's a reason why I highlighted Jesse's comment here, why I've not moved
Mm,
it further, because this is very important. Thank you, Jess, for raising this, because this is very important for me and Oregon Guna to actually have a bite, and chew it.
right,
It offers a whole lot of different dimension to the whole story, that we have to look at. And
right.
I'll read the statement by this legend, Jess Collins. It says here, Ateta made his statement that he thought of leaving. Guys in the chat, can you hear this? Yeah, Ateta made his statement that he thought of leaving after we didn't win the league. He's talking of last season. Yeah, shows he wants to win big time this year. Am I convinced? No, says Jess. He must win this season or go.
Yep.
See, I totally agree with that statement. But Oregon Gun, I want to look into what Jess just brought up.
Hmm.
Mikel Arteta coming out, in the papers just before in the presser,
Yep.
yeah, just before the Manchester City matchup, and saying, "See, guys, I thought of actually quitting
Right.
Arsenal last season when I couldn't win the league," and that's what Jess have brought up
Hmm.
here. Can of worms. See, I want you to open this can of worms here. Look into it. If Mikel Arteta is saying, "You know what? I don't think." I actually doubted my metal to actually lead this football club to a title. What does that say to you? Are there any ramifications this season? Is there a bigger clarion call for Mikel Arteta to deliver? What do you take from
Oh
just
yeah.
staying down here?
I think he's 100% correct.
Mm,
Being part of the Rat Army, I do not have 100% confidence in Arteta, and I don't think I ever will. But
mm,
he has failed to, he's deceived us in certain ways because we never expected last season.
yeah,
None of us expected second. I mean, who? Maybe Julian and Taiwo, right, from AFTV. Besides the nut jobs, um,
mm,
that's just for him to come out and say that means that he feels the failure, and that's what we as fans want him to feel, that times that, yeah, as the manager you wear the badge of failure when it doesn't happen. And
yeah,
we were on top for 93% of that time, Tony.
mm,
7% of that time we let slip away.
yeah.
And I can kind of see where Arteta's coming from. I think that if you looked at a major CEO, right, let's say of Apple or Amazon or just hypothetically
Tesla,
some large
something like
company,
that.
and they run a
Mm,
large company, $100 million, $1 billion company, and the fall in a year or so they lose, let's say, half that revenue, that guy's going to want to resign or he's going to get fired, right?
exactly, he's gonna
Our
resign. That's
job
true.
is a business, right? We're basically not really just another asset of the Cronky Sports Group. So, and Jez has said this before, and I'll say it again: managers come and go, but the badge and the club are forever. So,
True.
you know, but Arteta isn't. What can I say? This he's not. He's not doing things that are just so wrong and off the wall. Now, putting Party at right back last season was off the wall, and that was due to a lot of
Oh,
desperation, I think, right?
when I
And
saw
I
that, I
think at
I
the time,
threw up when I saw
and
that, man.
that's what he wanted to quit, I think, is when he's pretty much exhausted everything out. People were injured.
Mm,
I think we were all mentally tired by that second to last, that City game, that Forest game. We were just mentally done at that point. And I
yeah,
think he probably was too. I'm sure he took a long look in the mirror and said, I got this team as far as I could. And in the end, it, it just didn't work out. And like I said, as the manager, you wear that. That's
mm,
that's the hat that you wear. Um,
yeah,
but it also gives me more inspiration to kind of get behind him a little bit more, knowing that he
yeah,
has that
exactly.
self recognition, that he
Yeah,
has that he's not as narcissistic as as what I first thought, and that he has some self reflection, and hopefully that he's looked at tape. He's been looking at past games and seeing what we
our
did and what
past
we did
games,
right.
watching the mistakes.
Right, watching the
Exactly.
mistakes, what we did wrong, what we did right, and then hopefully he's taken that recently into what we saw at Barcelona and City. I
Mm,
know those games don't mean anything, but they mean something to the players, right?
mm,
It does mean something to the players because they're out there putting in the effort. They're the ones out there getting the glory, right?
yeah,
So no matter what, we beat the Spanish champions and the European and Premier League champions. I don't care what setting it is because they still played Holland, they still played Diaz, they still had
yeah.
starting
They
lineups.
still play their stalwarts, yeah.
We
They still play
played
their big
well the
players.
second half of that game. We played very
Mm,
well, like I thought, against Barcelona for 60, 70% of that game. It's still
yeah,
preseason, so it's never going to be 100%. And I don't think, and as fans, I think our expectations to have these sparkling games against City and Barcelona that aren't going to be ugly is just false thinking. Because
yeah.
the only way to beat those teams, I think, in most cases, is to win ugly, unless you thrash them 4
It's to
nil.
win
But we're
ugly.
not
It's to
going to
win
do that to
ugly.
City, and we're not going to do that to Barcelona, right? So
But
those are
again,
games
but
we
again,
want to
Arsenal,
win.
Arsenal won ugly in most of their games last season.
Right,
It's not like every game last season, yeah, was this pretty
right,
classy
right.
kind of wins we had last season. Some of these wins we had to grind in deep
Sure.
to manufacture those wins. I'll give you an example: the win against Brentford, the win
Mhm.
against
Bournemouth,
Manchester United.
right?
Come on, man. These wins, we
Newcastle.
had to go deep down under the rabbit hole. I don't know if it was the red
Right.
pill or the blue pill, But you know what? Yeah,
I'm a red, baby. I take the red pill. I ain't no blue pill.
I don't know if it was the red
That's
pill
the
or
other
the blue
side.
pill or boss down there. Yeah,
Right.
but see, for some reason last season it wasn't such a joyous
No.
time going away and going and staying even at the Emirates Stadium and getting those wins. It wasn't
Yep.
really this perfect kind of picture square kind of wins
Right.
that we did get. We had to win some of those games ugly. See, I don't mind winning games ugly.
Yeah.
I
Me
don't mind
either.
it, provided it's your plan A. Yeah. And again, when these teams figure you out, because these teams will figure us out.
Yeah.
When these teams figure you out, make sure you come up with a plan B that's efficient.
Hmm.
Yeah, because all these teams will come up to ruffle Arsenal this season. They won't allow us because see, these teams have seen us. Yeah, they know we play this, this slick, passing
Right.
football. There will be teams that will come to actually truncate all those passes. There will be teams like Aston Villa. Yeah, teams like Brentford. Yeah,
Hmm.
all these teams will be ready for us next season. So the fact there is Arsenal ready with Plan A, Plan B,
Hmm.
Plan C, and Plan D. Let's see what Mikel Arteta have up his sleeves this season. But
Right.
again, this opener against Manchester City opens up a lot.
Confidence.
Opens up a lot. Yeah, of
Yeah.
what this team can be able to achieve if Mikel Arteta just say. Even Lee Gunner said something just last week
Hmm.
in one of his reels. He said football is a simple game.
Right.
It is simple. It's not complicated.
No.
Put the players, put the right players where they deserve to be,
Right.
and watch how the game goes. If you overthink things, if you're trying to, tinker a lot with the whole stuff, yeah, you,
Hmm.
you put in you put in Zichenko invertedly, and he doesn't want to
Right.
run back and come and defend. He's totally forgotten how to defend, and he's made his
Yeah.
his house the midfield or going up pitch without coming to do his primary responsibility, which is knowing
Right.
how to defend. This takes us to the next question, Dow.
Hmm.
Julian Timber
Hmm.
yesterday. What can you say? You can
Yeah.
see how we're developing this plot, man. You can see how we're developing the plot. Yeah,
It
Julian
does give
Timber.
it a plot. Yeah.
What do you think, man?
I think it was fantastic, and I think Kieran Tierney has got, unfortunately, going to bear the burden.
Mm,
You know, what I don't want to see is Zinchenko start against Nottingham Forest. I don't want Timber to make, who's
mm,
made such a good impression over the last few weeks in the games that he's
yeah,
played, to be totally get, the pull. I don't think, because we saw that with Trossard when Jesus came back, right? We went on a 6-game win streak with Trossard up front while Jesus was injured. And then
yeah,
as soon as Jesus came back, Trossard is back there sitting on his thumbs. Not cool. That's not good man management. And that's not even really looking at the data that you're getting from the games. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, every manager goes over stats, they go over what they did right and wrong in games. And you
yeah.
can't tell me that you can't compile that information in a 6-game span and realize that Trossard was the key to 90% of those freaking goals that we got in that 6-game period. And then put Jesus back in and get nothing.
Guys in
Nothing.
the chat, Oregon Gunners cooking.
Nothing for weeks.
It's cooking,
It's
guys.
just,
It's cooking.
and if he treats Timber the same way,
Mm,
we're going to have some real problems. We're going to have some real problems
mm,
because Zinchenko for me is, I think for a lot of us, doesn't just quite cut it defensively, right? He can play a nice, clever pass. He can find an opening and run, but Timber can do that as well, and he doesn't have to go as far up the pitch.
he
We got
doesn't.
your stream, another stream.
Did you
It's
see the
position.
controlled manner? See,
It's
that is how you
positioning,
play. If
right?
you see, yeah, see this inverted thing, yeah, it's not a complicated thing.
No, and it's beautiful when it
Yesterday,
works.
Julian Timber taught us how to go inverted. He showed us what this inverted kind of play
Right.
means. Yeah, you have to see. when you go up pitch, be reminded that you're leaving a back four instead of a back four. You're leaving
Right,
them with a back three.
right.
Vulnerable,
Stretches them out.
vulnerable,
Yep.
extremely vulnerable. No one is protecting the back four, that back three when you're moving further. You're the person actually that should even protect that
Mm,
back four in the normal sense because Thomas Partey has moved up pitch looking for
right.
that key pass to get Declan Rice. If you notice, Declan Rice was going into the left hand side trying
Right.
to,
Well,
manufacture
defend.
some other options down there with
Yep.
Martinelli because
It was.
Martinelli was being doubled up upon
Yeah.
yesterday. He didn't
It's
even
like
have a
soccer.
sniff of the ball. So he
Yeah.
had to go down there. If you watch it very well, he had to go down the left to try and help out Martinelli to kind of like solidify his game, get that extra option and layout for
Hmm.
Martinelli to get, someone to just, have that quick passing.
Right.
So you can see that Julian Timber had to take that initiative, yeah, move
Hmm.
invertedly, find those key passes, yeah, and
Right.
actually come back to defend in a controlled manner. You don't see him
Right.
just wandering about the 18-yard box of the
And just
opposition side,
run into him
and then
back.
wandering back. Oh,
Yeah, and
see
it's too
that.
late.
See, he made the inverted nature, yeah,
Hmm.
the inverted way of playing football, that is a blueprint. And I'm
Right.
sorry, that's what Zichenko doesn't have in his wheelhouse. It gives us so many things to desire attacking. It gives us so many things to desire when pressing up. But you
Hmm.
know what, yeah? I didn't bring you to be a Cafu. I brought you in to be a defender. So defensive duties is your responsibility.
Yeah.
So see, man, see, uh, Dow, man, you've
Yeah.
just said this, yeah. If Zichenko manages
Mm.
to get into this team just like that, questions will be
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
BX Guna, BX Guna, MUFC Global,
Legend.
Tommy Sion Sabia, welcome to the house. Amy Baba, po. That's my guy, yeah. That's my personal person.
Is that
Amy
Deji?
Baba.
I
Hey,
see Deji. Hey, what's up, Deji?
yay, they just pauses in the house.
Real.
Exactly. See, yeah, see, if Zichenko finds his way into this team and Jurian Timber takes the bench, there'll be questions. Dow, do you agree to this?
Well, I'd be furious, right? Because I don't. The look on Trossard's face. I'm going to go back to a little bit to last season, right? When he wasn't, you could see it. You could see it in Trossard's face. It's kind of like, what the hell
Mm.
am I doing here?
Oh,
Martinelli was
exactly.
getting game time after game time, and it wasn't really producing much, right? Again, he had his head down. He's so direct. Lift your head up, Gabs. Lift your head up. Look around, right? There's other players. So the fact that like you said, Rice was helping Martinelli. That's good because we want more of the support and attack. We don't want the support and defend because we want to be
Mm.
attacking all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna, yeah, man. If he brings Zinchenko back, I think there's gonna be a lot of just I don't know. I think you're gonna have issues with Timber and Trossard if they don't get enough game time, and you're going to see
Hmm.
it in the stats. And I really, unfortunately, I think with Timber's arrival, it looks like he's going to play left back, but I think he'll sub in at right back as well. Probably doubtful at center back because we have Kiwi over there. Um, but I could see him playing left back and right back, throughout the season, different games, whatever competition. Um,
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I do think that there will probably be a late bid in for Kieran Tierney, probably from Newcastle, maybe Aston Villa or something like that. But the
Big ups,
Arsenal
Deji.
player, oh my God, the Arsenal.
Deji Sports has become
Okay,
a spy on our
yeah,
channel.
he
He's
cares more
going
about
to
Arsenal than
spy
we
on
do.
our show. But
Oh shit, that's all good, Deji. The,
it's
the
all good.
medication will help. Um,
Mm.
but no, it'd be a catastrophe if he just benches Timber, brings
Mm.
Zinchenko in, and expects Zinchenko to pull a weeks. Because remember, he's been kind of injured, and he's been in Ukraine playing charity games as well with Arsene Wenger.
Charity games.
I don't know. It's a tough decision for Arteta. And at the same time,
Are you
do
a
you
politician or are you a defender?
continue with
See,
the
I'm glad you
invertedness?
bring that up,
Right?
man. Are you a politician or are you a defender for Arsenal Football Club? It's
Yeah,
see, it's time to put up or shut up, man. This
right,
season we won't condone any of all this, of all this bit pat bit. No, 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 no. See, we want killers, straight killers, assassins right here.
right.
That's what we
And the
want.
thing is, too,
Put
Tony, is
up
I don't
or
want
shut up.
Zinchenko
We want
subbed
that.
in.
We want that league title. We don't want no stories. We want
Right.
that league title this season. And again, Arsenal have proven it. We have to play. See, before I used to have this. I used to have this crazy thoughts, yeah, that we don't have the players to match Manchester City toe to toe, fire for fire. We
Mm,
don't have it. But see, yesterday, yeah, and that's why I keep telling Arsenal fans, it's not about a party, throwing a party, yeah,
right,
yesterday that you
right,
that you beat up Man City. No, it's not about see, that trophy is nothing. It means nothing. Yeah, it's nothing less than a glorified Super Cup.
right.
But the thing there is that mentality. See, I keep bordering on this thing because
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal's mentality is not up there yet. I needed
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal to climb up just a little bit, a little bit up,
Right.
just go at par with Man City. And that's what we
Nope.
achieved yesterday. I'm not saying it's a total package, but just getting that win, showing that you could go against Man City, stretch the European champions, stretch the FA Cup champions, the 3P champions. You can be able to stretch them with the players we already have on ground. Now tell me, Oregon Guna, what if we had a potent striker? You know that game should have been killed early on yesterday. If we had a potent striker in the number 9 position who
Yeah.
actually likes to strike the ball, yeah, I'm not talking of Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is our number 9 in this football team. Is
Right.
injured, and even if he's in the game, is always linking up play, and he's not scoring goals. He's not. He doesn't get at the end of those loose balls in the 18-yard box. So we have all these players playing invertedly. A number
Mm-hmm.
9 who's not really a number 9, a left back in Zinchenko who's not really
Yeah.
who's not really a left back. We have all these guys in the team, and the productivity is zero. So yesterday, keeping things simple, putting Julian
Mm,
Timber in that position, play your left back position in a controlled manner, go invertedly, and remember you have to come back to defend. Perfect.
right.
Look at Benjamin White yesterday. Look at the circles we were running through with Akanji yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They ran circles around that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping it simple. Keep it
Right.
simple. Put Benjamin White where it's supposed to be. Leave Saka where it's supposed to be. Don't tinker with the midfield. Leave it the
Mm-hmm.
way it is. Let them form a certain kind of collaboration, a certain kind of partnership within
Right.
themselves. Let there be harmony in that team rather than putting these guys, in inverted spaces that they don't even really understand how to
Well,
play. And
right.
see,
Well,
what
that's
would you say about the mentality of Julian Timber? Can you believe it? He was playing without his boots. Can you remember Kivior was playing in an attack? Yeah, in an
mm,
attack against Liverpool, one of the most ferocious teams in this Premiership.
right.
Yeah, and then you were caught slipping. Yeah, tightening your shoe boots. Yeah, that was what Kivior was doing last season.
Right. Right.
And you see that Julian Timber lost his boots in the first half. He
Right.
kept on playing. What do you have to say about that, Dal?
Well, KiwiR needs to just keep playing, number
The
one. So,
mentality.
yeah, and that's the mentality, right? That's concentration and mentality and just knowing where you're at in the
Mm,
spur of the moment, right? You got to be here
mm,
now, as the Gallagher brothers would say. But
mm,
let's
mm.
see.
Shout out to
Timber
Footy
lost
Charles
his,
is in the house. Footy Charles
we
is in
got
the
all the
house.
legends are there now.
Arsenal
Yeah,
since
I see
1987 is also in the house. Jamio, my guy, is in the house.
him.
See,
Yeah.
see, see, Dow, man. We're bringing in the stars. We're bringing in the legends. They're all coming down here.
Yeah,
Jets
big
is
up
also in the
everybody,
house. What,
man.
what, what more do I want? BX Gunner is in the house. The Assembled is in the house. Amy Baba is in the house. Carl Rossi is in the house. Jamio, True Gunners in the house. These guys. yeah, Carl Rossi, yeah, members of the Rat Army. I'm part of it. By association with Jez. Oregon too, Oregon Guna, Jamio, Carl Rossi, yeah, Arsenal, the history, and more too. That's Jez, yeah. All you guys, yeah, big ups to you. Jamio Yeti, also great guy, yeah. All you guys, big ups to you. You guys are the true hero because we have to hold the club accountable when
Mm,
it's when they should be responsible.
right.
Yeah, we have to hold them responsible. But again, when we win, we give them their praise. I was in the chart yesterday. Everyone, no one, no, I didn't see anyone who was negative about the win. We won, yeah, good. And everyone gave the props that should be given. That's how you help a team. That's how you form a particular fan base that
Right.
really wants to see their team win trophies. Yeah, back to that question down there.
Well,
Uh, now.
Julian Timber lost his boot in the first 5 minutes, and once he put it back on, he was a different player. And I think that was kind of like, welcome to the Premier League, son, because when you're playing Man City and you have to go against Bernardo Silva, he's going to twist you up like a pretzel. And if you don't have your shoes tied on tight, you're going to be, shoeless, literally. But no, after that, right, to be honest, I remember watching that game yesterday when his shoe came
Mm,
off, and I thought, oh, shit. Oh crap! Here's another dud. We just spent $40 million on another like Vieira or something. It's like, oh crap! But he put his shoe back on and he kept going. So big up to you're in Timber for getting some new shoestrings and making
yeah.
it happen. Hopefully his shoes fit him okay because that's going to be pretty important. Your feet are pretty important in football, Tony, from what I've
Mm,
told. Um, but again, right? We've talked about this a little bit before. Some of the legends were able to jump in. Um, it's a mentality thing. You
yeah.
got if we would have lost that game on penalties, I still would have been proud of the boys, to be honest, because we didn't get
Mm,
the 3-0, 4-0 drubbing that I was really kind of expecting. 3-1 is really kind of what I was expecting, to be honest. But one of the questions I saw in the chat too, Tony, is Man City kind of a weaker side? Are they
mm.
are they a bit weak? And I think
Well, that'll be
a
one of our last questions.
little bit of
See, Dal, I
quality,
want you to look into our midfield yesterday.
right?
See, Dal, I can't believe it, yeah, that there are some Arsenal fans, yeah,
Mm,
really believe that Thomas Partey should actually leave this football club.
that's insane.
Can't believe it.
The same
Did
players are
you
playing till
see
they're
what
34,
Thomas
35
Partey did
now.
yesterday? Take us through that down, man. Thomas
Uh,
Partey
Thomas
yesterday
Partey,
against that
Thomas,
Manchester City
yeah,
midfield.
he needs
Ooh.
to be the CDM if we're playing a 4-3-3. I want him just protecting the back four at all times. Have the
Mm,
Rice can go up and down the pitch as much as he wants, as long as he gets back and defend. Because we know if Zinchenko's there, he's going to be right there holding hands with Party up at the halfway line.
yeah.
So it leaves a gap. But Party, he's going to show his age. But his players, like I said, are playing till they're 34 years old. He's only, I think, 30. He's got a lot more in the engine,
Yeah.
and just sell him
Yeah.
off to Saudi Arabia or Juventus, I think is one of the teams looking at him too.
Mm,
I don't think I'd take less than 65, 70 mil. I mean, I don't know how much we paid for him, but I mean, if if you want to play in high stakes gambling, you got to get off the porch with the big dogs, right? I mean,
you have to swim
you
with
can't
the
be in
sharks.
20, 30 million range forever. And we broke that mold with the Rice signing, but Party is
Mm,
instrumental to what we're trying to do defensively. He's going to have off games like every player does, and at the end of the season, he was probably scratching his head like, "What do you mean, boss? I'm at right back." But he wasn't really at right back. He was sort of inverted as well. I mean, it was all kind of a calamity at the end, right? But I don't think those games at the end were a true gauge of how obviously the whole season went when we had 93% of the time we were on top and we had 248 games, without really dropping from
mm,
the top spot. So and what I've seen in preseason, the new changes with Timber, Rice, and Havertz, who all three of them did start against City. So I think there's something to be said there. And the Thomas Party was integral to getting the win, and he's going to be integral to getting us wins in the rest of the
see,
season.
see,
The,
the
the, the,
transfer
he's
window
not
is
done
still
yet.
open. Dow, the transfer window is still open. Yeah. Juventus are still sniffing. Saudi Arabia are still sniffing. Do you think, do you think that Arsenal still wants to sell Thomas
Mm,
Partey? Because
no.
what I'm hearing is that if a bigger price comes into the foreplay down here to the football club, that these guys are willing to flog Thomas Partey off the football club. I'm hearing that if they get 50 to 60 million pounds, that they will let Thomas Partey go. Are you a
Mm,
party to this? Carl Rossi just gives us Carl Rossi in the house. Poo, poo, poo.
my guy.
Hammy in the
I don't.
house.
I don't think.
Big ups to you,
I
Carl
don't think
Rossi,
this is the
man.
season to sell him.
Love
After
to you,
last,
Carl Rossi. Thanks,
yeah, big
thanks,
up,
thanks.
Carl.
Big
I
up
don't
to
think
you,
this is the
man. Thanks.
season to sell him,
Thanks for
Tony.
supporting me, man. God bless you. God
I
bless you,
think
Carl Rossi. I
we.
really appreciate it. Thanks.
I think we
Yeah,
hold
Dow.
on to. I think we hold on to Party for another 2 seasons because of what we accomplished last season, which I know
Mm,
obviously we didn't get a trophy, but I think we will build on last season, mentality wise, hopefully
mm.
performance wise. But Thomas Party has to stay. I don't see why just because we get Declan Rice in that all of a sudden Party's out the door.
The party's out the
Declan
door.
Rice
That's
isn't
the problem.
necessarily an out and out CDM though. So is the idea then to get Romeo Lavia, who's pretty much got 1 foot in at Liverpool already? Who I don't
It's
really
crazy.
rate
It's
Lavia
crazy. I
that
can't
highly.
believe this. Because I heard that if a team comes up with 60 million pounds, that they can have Thomas Partey. That's what I'm hearing.
Right, but
I'll
as
be
you know,
very
Tony, as an
sincere
Arsenal
with
fan,
you.
we don't give many contracts to 29, 30-year-olds. We don't give many extensions, right? In fact, I
But
knew there was a
again, but again, does
mention
it
of
does it
training.
make business sense? Does
I
it
know.
make business sense for Arsenal to sell Thomas Partey if they get 60
No,
million?
no, 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 because
No,
the
I'm talking
60
of
million.
business sense, not footballing sense.
No, no, because we don't need the money. We don't need the money. Like I would rather have Thomas Party for the next couple seasons, pushing us to get a trophy, than just sell him off to bring in like someone like Romeo Latvia, who's at freaking Southampton, who has no idea about pressure. In reality, there's no pressure at Southampton, right? So, I mean, the only one I'd really want to bring in would be Joseph Fofana, right? But there's been no discussion or linkage to him at all. So if we're
Mm.
not linked to Fofana, then no, don't sell Party because you have to have replacement. And Jorginho is not the answer. I don't want anyone to say Jorginho. Jorginho cannot do what Thomas Party does. He can do
True.
a little bit, but not. He is not a full
He's not the guy.
replacement for
He's not
Thomas
the
Party. He's
guy.
not the guy. In fact,
But we'll
I'm
have the luxury of
surprised that
having him
he doesn't
anyway.
get much game time this season at all. Poor old Jorginho.
Mm.
We haven't talked much about him, but he's
Mhm.
he's going to be third pick for sure. But Thomas
And
Party, no, I don't
we
think.
have a certain Mohamed El Neni. See, there's also a
Hmm,
problem here. Yeah.
oh
See,
no, then
we can talk about everything we've gained into this
right,
football club in the
sure.
summer. Yeah. We have the luxury of saying we brought in Kai Havertz, 65 million pounds. Declan Rice, 105 million pounds. Yeah. And we brought in this guy, Jurian Timber, to me, who looks like a 200 million signing. I don't know what anyone is going to tell me, man. This guy, see, we have to go to Ajax right now and tell them, say, take a bonus for this guy. Thank you
Mm,
very much because we
right.
have something in our hands. See, I won't go over the top right now. I want to see him play and carry this into the league. Yeah, not yet time for a jamboree. Let's
Hmm.
see in the first 10 games how he sincerely copes. Yeah, but see that performance against Man City alone, it's enough. Come on, man, putting that performance against the European champions, it's something huge. But see, this is the bigger picture I'm taking you to, Dow. Yeah, see,
Hmm.
with all these ends coming into the team, Dow, Arsenal haven't been able to flog out players. See, we still have dead wood in this team. See, the most scary. See, and you know this one person I don't like in this team. Please just mention the person.
Is his name Fabio?
No, Rob Oden.
Oh God, him. How can I get my Rob
You
Holding
know,
and
see,
Fabio
you know,
Vieira confused?
see,
Sorry, Tony. Jeez.
see, Dow, man. See, it's not like, see, I like everyone, yeah. I'm a nice guy.
Right. Oh
I
yeah, I
like
like him too.
everyone. But see, I I don't like Rob Holding. Yeah, I don't like that guy. Yeah,
Okay.
the very essence of him being in this football club, his face being in this football club, it
Right.
hurts. It
Puts what?
burns.
Oh
It
my
burns.
God.
Mostly since after what he did last season to that team. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't want to see this guy anywhere that
no,
training ground because
I
this
know, but
guy,
he does.
see, this guy can be a cancer. Yeah,
Mm,
he can infect, other good players around there. I need that cancer out of the football club. He represents that old order. Yeah, that evil old order
mm,
that we need out. We need to
right,
weed these
right,
guys out of the football club
right.
because there's nothing they're doing here. El Neni is still in this football club.
Mm.
What is Cedric the Entertainer still doing in this football club? No, see, this is
I
modern.
know.
It's no
No,
more a joke again.
yeah,
It's not
right.
a joke again.
It's
Yeah.
not a joke.
What is
It's
Cedric the Entertainer still doing in this football
Here's
club?
the problem, Tony. Here's the problem: is that when you buy a turd, you can't resell a turd, right? You can't take a shit in your hand and and hold on to it for a while and move that pile of shit onto someone else. That's why we bought crap. We spent money that we on crap, and now we're paying the price for that. It's
And
just
now we're
bad
paying that
business,
price.
right? And the price for Rob Holding is, 100 pounds. I will personally fly over there to London and drive him in a taxi and drop him off anywhere. You're right. I hate the sight of his face too. I hate his stupid hair. I hate his stupid smile. I hate his stupid attitude and his stupid
I
comment that he
don't
said
like.
on All or Nothing. I'm
It's
just
not
happy to be
competitive.
here. You prick. You know, why did he
Jesus
not go to
Christ! That guy
Galatasaray?
has come out to
Why
say,
did he go to Galatasaray?
"I'm happy. I'm
So
happy
mad
to
at
be
him.
on the bench."
So
That
mad at
is
him.
everything we don't need. That's
I
everything we
know.
don't need. You see,
They
yeah,
gotta
see,
go.
you have a young
Yeah,
squad.
they
I
just
don't
gotta
need
go.
people like Rob Holding to come and corrupt, yeah, to come and corrupt this new squad that we're trying to build. Because people like that will corrupt people like Julian Timber, yeah, and I'm seeing Rob Holding, rubbing shoulders with Julian Timber, Kai
Right.
Havertz. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because I believe it's going to corrupt these guys, yeah, you know, they won't focus on their game.
Right.
Yeah, they will just want to just keep receiving a salary. Yeah, and I
Right.
don't want that. I want competition for every place at Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, competition. Talking about competition, you can see how the plot is going.
Right. Oh
Talking
my
about
gosh.
competition, Aaron Ramsdale. You've seen
Mm,
since when Raya has been in the news.
yeah.
Ramsdale, who has never kept a penalty. See, everyone on the chat, listen. Ramsdale, who has never kept a penalty for Arsenal Football Club, suddenly has started catching penalties. Two in a row.
I don't know. I don't know.
Now, what do you have to say?
Just but
Just because of the mere mention
uh,
of David
yeah,
Raya in the
yeah.
offing, in the air,
Um,
I started making Ramsdale catch penalties. Dow, what do you have to say to this?
I think big up to Aaron Ramsdale because first of all, we didn't know what he was going through at the end of last season with the misses and
Mm,
miscarriages and so forth, and that's
mm,
kind of made a lot of people kind of turn their heads. Just like Arteta said that he was going to quit, last summer after
mhm.
we didn't win. So we've heard a lot of things now that have kind of changed our outlook on some of these players, right? On them personally, I guess. But I think Ramsdale deserves a spot. How many times last season and the season before did we give him man of the match? How
Yeah,
many times? Several. More than
several
five.
times.
More than five. More than six. I'm saying closer to 9 or 10, possibly. A third of the
Hmm.
games we gave him man of the match.
Hmm.
Every keeper, I
Hmm.
think, every player always, I think, would hope to think that they need to improve and that a challenge is a good thing, right? People are saying David Ray is not coming there to sit on the bench. Well, no players essentially come to sit on the bench, right?
No player wants to sit on the
But,
bench. They
but when
want to
you're
play.
Ray and you're looking at Brentford being mid-table probably for, however long they stay in the Premier League, I don't ever see them getting in the top five. Sorry, Brentford fans, I just don't.
Mm,
You're going to go to a bigger club if the money's there. You got a family to support, and being at the bigger club, yeah, you're going to fight for your place. So I want to see a good challenge between them two, but I don't want to see Aaron Ramsdale necessarily give all these superstar performances because of the pressure of Rhea early in the
of
season,
rare
and then
comments.
fall off again, right? Because he's got some sort of mental hang up about another player. You know,
Mm-hmm.
players
Mm-hmm.
come and go.
Players come
It's
and go.
awesome
Yeah.
to know that
Yeah.
and you've got to look at in some ways as well. Certain players are going to be just stop gap solutions, right? When you
Mm,
can't get a certain player in, you go for player B that you wanted, right? And
yeah.
I don't know what involved Ramsdale signing with the club. All I know is that he was with two previous relegated clubs, and that's
Yeah.
just not one player's fault. That's a community effort with the goalkeeper, manager, etc., that makes a
Yeah.
club fall. Right? It's not just one or two players. So, with that said, I think that also though gives Ramsdale some inspiration, but it also kind of sees it as more mistake prone. Um,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know, is Raya going to make mistakes? Yes. And then I can't wait for Top Gooners to start banging on him, right? When he starts
Mm.
missing, saves and so forth. Um, the I just
But should Raya
you
still
don't
come
give
to
up
the
on
football club?
Ramsdale. You just don't give up
Should
on
David
Ramsdale.
Raya still come to the football club?
Right? Raya has better stats, but there's always players with better stats that we see all the time, right? Mbappe will have stats that aren't as good as someone else's, and you know, Jorginho's stats will be better than someone else's. I mean, the big deal. The fact of the matter is, Ramsdale has given everything for this club, and pulling, you know, Yearing Timber. Let's say pulling Ramsdale to put Raya in is a disservice. Pulling Timber for Zinchenko now would be a complete disservice.
Mm.
Pulling Trossard, not playing Trossard and playing
Not
Eddie
playing
would be a
Trossard. Yeah.
disservice, right? So Arteta's got some real man management issues to figure out. But I don't think, again, that we pull Ramsdale just because Raya shows up on the bus one day. And it's probably the deal's gonna go through for sure. But I just think that if we're a team that's built on motivation and confidence and mentality, how well do you kill a person's mentality by just yanking them when a new guy comes in? That
Mm.
goes against everything you're saying about mentality and
Saying.
motivation,
Yeah.
courage, and all that other bullshit that you say in pregame meetings. That
Yeah.
Arteta's out and the photography guy who fucking loves the club and all that. But then you start pulling players away who are more situated and better than your current crop, right? But then you go and pull them. And that's what I don't want to
Exactly.
see. And that's going to make me really turn on Arteta, Tony, to be honest, if he starts tinkering, like you said, in the midfield and defense where there doesn't need to be tinkering. Is Timber left back or right back? Okay.
Mm.
If Timber's going to play left back, great. Give him a consistent run of games. And then the
Exactly.
other thing I don't want to see is him in one game and Zinchenko in, and then Tierney in, then Zinchenko in, then Tierney in for 2 games, Timber in for two. I just to me that would just cause more confusion as a manager. Why would you put yourself through that? If Timber's in the
True
left
that.
back producing,
Mm.
he's doing better than Tierney, he's doing better than Zinchenko. That means he earns the spot. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if
See,
Timber plays,
Jamil said something here in a reply to Carl Rossi. Carl
poo poo
Rossi.
poo.
Po, po, po.
That's
Carl
right.
Rossi. That's our guy. Jamil also legend. Jamil legend. See, yeah. Jamil says something here, and I find this very important because Jamil has a very, very technical footballing IQ. That's why I
Right.
like this guy. Yeah, I like this guy to the core. But see, he raises something here. Yeah, he says, Carl Rossi, I'll admit he's a good player, but I genuinely cannot stand him. He's talking about Rodri here.
Mm,
He's so dirty, so overprotected. See that phrase? That's
right.
the phrase I wanted to bring out. Dow, yeah. He's
Sure.
so dirty, so overprotected by the referees,
Right.
and he's so cocky as well. Such
Right.
an ego on him. I loathe that man. See, we're not talking about the loathing down here, yeah. But see,
Right.
Camino said something here. so overprotected by the referees. Say
Mm,
our next topic now goes into the
sure.
refereeing of that matchup yesterday. See, Dow, you have to admit
Right.
there was some acrimonious refereeing yesterday, a show of shame in
Mhm.
front of the leader of the coaches, yeah, in the Charity Shield in the stadium yesterday at Wembley, and that shit show was going down there, and that refereeing. What in God's name was going on down there? Now,
Oh, he just wanted the attention on himself. Plain and simple. He had it made up in his mind. The first player that gets out of line, I'm just going to card him and set the tone. And Party did nothing to deserve that yellow card while Rogers out there like a damn hitman. You
exactly.
know,
Roger was
it's
orchestrating
ridiculous.
hits yesterday. I can understand when when
You
when
know,
when Jamil says he loathes that guy. He loathes him.
oh, I do too. I think
Dude,
he's a. I think he's got a crap attitude. I think he's a shisty, cheating player. You can see him
dirty
kicking at
player.
heels every time he gets beat. He starts kicking out at people's heels and Achilles. He's going to hurt someone. One of these
And the
seasons.
referees that are
Um,
meant to protect these players that that are vulnerable to predators
right.
like Rodri and the lots of them in this league. The referees don't even protect these guys, and this
Mm,
is this is why I fear, yeah, for Bukayo Saka. I
mm,
believe that guy will be targeted this season. The referees are not
right.
protecting him, and even Mikel Arteta is not even still protecting him because he's always using this guy time time without number. Yeah,
Game
and
after
this
game,
guy
yeah.
will be burnt out. That takes us to our next topic. Bukayo Saka, yeah? He wasn't in that game yesterday, let's be frank.
Mm.
Yeah, he made quite some few runs here and there, but he wasn't in that game. Do you think he's starting to tire out, or do you
Uh,
think it's just a blip in the matrix?
I think it's a blip in the matrix. Like we said when you
Mm,
were on the show Friday, um, he needs to get in the box. That's the thing. He was too. Oh no, you said on the review show. I'm sorry. He was too far out the box. Right. It's all fun to do the step overs and so forth, but it doesn't help when you're close to the corner flag or the out of bounds line.
mm,
He needs to be in the box. That's where we saw him at his strengths. Is that
yeah,
when he scores those goals with his left foot, he's in and around the box. He
yeah.
was too far out, and that's good defensive work by Akanji,
Hmm.
right? I mean, he's obviously a top defender, but at the same time, Saka's got to be able to like not limit himself to being so far away. Maybe do a
Hmm.
one-two combination pass to get himself in the box so he can get his
Hmm.
left foot around a ball to get it in the far post. I
Hmm.
don't know, man. I don't know what the real solution is for Saka because he's so good and he's so talented and quick and has an eye for goal. He has all the attributes we want as an Arsenal player, but
Yeah.
sometimes just the execution is just not pure enough, right? And he's only
Mm.
22, so he's still learning. There's a lot of upside. I mean, he's my guy. He's my star boy. But there
Yeah.
is things that he goes missing. And yesterday, again, the fancy footwork was great and some of the lateral passing, but there was
Hmm.
no real penetration or
No
execution.
real penetration. Yeah, yeah.
You've
And,
got to
and,
put
and
the
that's where we ought to have
defender
an alternative.
on
That's
the
where we
6
have to have an
7.
alternative. But we've
Yeah.
not brought in an alternative for him. And it scares me because this
Well,
guy can literally get injured next
at
season.
that point, I think we do have the talent in Kosher Dewberry, a kid that's just right under him coming up from Hale End. I think we
Mm.
saw him in, maybe against United or MLS. From what I've heard, we have Kosher Dewberry and another kid that's a right winger. Um, so we basically two Sakas in line of Saka, of very similar ilk and style of play and speed and finesse and all that stuff. But again, I go back. We missed the boat on Diaby, right? We could have
Mm.
given
Yeah,
Granit Xhaka another 25 mil and picked up Diaby,
yeah.
who's turned out to be a top player at Villa already. He's looking incredible in the preseason, and we need like for like. We need two squads. We need 20 top players. We need a squad
True.
A and we need a squad B that's
And we need a
very
squad
equal
B.
in quality and
Mm.
mentality and and
Mm.
and and world view of the game and view of the
Of the
game, how
game.
you view and play and visualize what you're trying to do. If you don't see it in your mind, you're not going to fucking do it, excuse my French, out on the pitch. And that's,
True.
you have to see it in your mind to do it.
In your
And I think,
mind.
and these guys are kids, right? So their mind
Yeah, exactly. So
not there when you're 27, 28 and compared to 22. But Saka's going to be fine. He's the least of my worries, to be honest. I'm more worried about Saliba getting another back injury, to be honest, because I don't feel back injuries ever really go away,
go
right?
away.
Muscle is so vulnerable, and you just tweak it. There you go, right?
There you go. There
I'm
you go.
cautious. All right, you're in the bed
Default
for
settings.
something, right? You're like, I
Then
need
it's back to
somebody to
default
help
settings.
comb my hair and wipe myself technically if you hurt your back bad enough. But all that said is that we should really be looking at Saliba because I think again we saw the injury last season. It all went to shit. And if he gets injured or any sort of like muscle back problem, he's going to be out.
Yeah.
So Saliba's one to watch. Saka's the least of my worries right now. He'll come good. He'll get in the motion. He'll
He'll
perform better
come good.
against lower level teams, right? He'll perform against Luton and Burnley and them. I'm not
Yeah.
too concerned about that.
Mm.
No, but I am concerned about how we're going to use Rice and Saliba's injury, and I'm concerned about some of the decisions we have at left back and what
It's
Arteta's
all
going to do. I
in
don't
that
want
left back position.
to
But you
with
know
left
what?
back.
Yeah. See, this show, yeah, it's a plot, guys. Yeah, that's how me and Dal are doing it. It's a plot. We didn't even talk about it, yeah, but everything leads to something else. See,
Right.
yeah, we were having worries of something, yeah. The left back
Right.
position. I will tell you a place where we should be having a bigger worry. That will be our next topic. But Anthony Herbert is in the house. He's a member of
Everybody,
this
imagine.
channel. See, yeah, Anthony Herbert. Oh, Gooner. He's a Gooner. And it's in the house. Big up to you, Anthony Herbert. Big up to Across the Pond Sports Talk. That's a great guy from Canada, Moss, doing great things down there. He loves Arsenal. Carl Rossi, too, is in the house, too. I'm going to read this comment of his. It says, see, Carl Rossi, legend also. Great guy, football IQ up there. Big ups to you, my brother. And it says, yeah, Carl Rossi, it says, Saka is not world class, not a star boy. I rate him, but it is wrapped in bubble wrap from being criticized or dropped, which
Good
only
point.
harms him as a player. He far too often goes missing. And see, yeah, you just have to agree with that, yeah, in a way. So time to
Yeah,
just
yeah. I don't.
time to just listen.
I hesitate
People are
to
just
call
so
him world
quiet
class,
to the game.
but he's my star boy, Carl. I'm sorry.
But he's not star boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's
he's
why I
my
think it's a
star
bit of
boy.
a dicey one.
Now, is he a
Yeah,
star boy?
but it
No.
doesn't look like a star boy when he misses
Right,
out from the game in that way.
right,
That's the
right.
thing.
And
Yeah.
Carl's 1,000% right.
Mm,
1,000% right.
mm,
He's not world
mm,
class. The only,
mm.
the only real class player I would think we have, and I say this loosely, probably Saliba, and maybe partly
Saliba, yeah, world
right?
class player, Rolls
Right, even
Royce,
though he hasn't been big in the Champions League and so forth, but there's
exactly.
obviously a lot of
Rolls
history.
Royce,
So
Rolls
we'll get
Royce.
away from the world class argument, right? That's a whole nother discussion for a
That's a
whole.
whole different ball
Right.
game entirely.
Yeah, he's
We
a
might touch
mess,
that
and
next
he
week.
does go missing. But he's the spark, Carl. He's the spark, right? When we get the
He's the
ball, where
spark
does it
and his
go? It
goals.
goes out right. The ball goes out. The tendency is to play the
Exactly.
ball to the
And
right
mind you,
side.
he scores lots of goals. He scores
And
lots of goals.
he scored a
Double
lot of
figures
goals.
last
17,
season.
18 last
His
season.
assists last season, tremendous. So,
Double figures.
but again, yeah, as a player, you don't have to pick or choose the games you turn up in. Yeah,
Right.
you have to play at all times, and
I
that's the
think
difference
but how
between
you,
champions of Europe
right,
and
right.
and
Sure. If you're
and
champions
the
of Europe,
team
you
that
find a
don't win
way.
any
Sure.
trophies like what we did last season.
For
Yeah,
sure. And if
if
you're
you're a big
champions,
player,
you find a way to win with whatever
it's true.
player
You
you have
find
out
a
on
way
the
to
pitch.
win.
Absolutely.
You find a way. That's
Right.
what big players do. You show up. And I'm sorry, Bukayo Saka didn't show up yesterday, but he's not going to take any stick because he has been immense in this team. That's the
Right.
bigger picture. See,
And players
let's
like that.
go into our
One
final.
other thing,
Yeah,
Saka. One other quick note is that his he will get better. He will get better.
He would
You
get
know,
better.
he's
Still,
still young. He
you
will
still
get
forget
better.
he's a young
He'll get
kid, right?
better, hopefully, throughout the season. Hopefully, last season we saw him superstar boy and kind of fall off.
Mm,
This season, I
mm,
hope he just kind of stays consistent with no falling off. We all hope that. But players fall off. They all
yeah.
will fall off. Someone's going to fall off at some time and not produce like they need to. But I think, again, Carl, if you go back, if you think about it, man, Saka is really the bottom of our worries right now. We need a striker. We need
We need
possibly
that
another
was the topic I was
play.
coming
So
to.
anyway, I
You
just
just
think
stole that away from me
that
now.
Saka, there's
That's what
still
I'm
a lot.
coming
There's
into.
still a lot
See,
there.
guys, the final stuff, yeah, to fit in this jigsaw, yeah, is this issue of a striker, yeah. Say, thou we need a striker
Right.
ASAP. Arsenal needs a striker as soon as possible.
Mm.
See, yeah, if there's any time, yeah, that we should be calling for a striker, I'm not talking of calling Eddie Nketiah. He will
No,
never be in the room.
I don't
See,
know.
we need a potent striker, someone who will come into this football club and give us 30 goals in a season. That's what we need. See, you can think whatever you want to think about Manchester City, yeah?
Right. Right.
You can look into
We have
how
no control over what they
William
do.
Saliba locked up Erling Haaland, yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
How they caged it, yeah,
Fantastic.
good and okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? When he goes to meet the Brentfords of this league,
Mm.
when he goes to meet the West Hams of this league, when he
Mm.
goes to meet the Lutons of this league,
Mm.
he's gonna show up and he's gonna score goals and he's
Yeah.
gonna score 60. See, he scored 50 something goals last season. This guy can literally score 100. Yeah,
But
we've just
right.
literally pissed them off.
But I think one point, Tony, on City is I
We've
think
just
that
pissed them
the
off.
thing is, but if you can neutralize Holland, they are very not that good. I mean, and I know people are going to disagree with that. They have top players. They're fucking treble champions, blah blah blah. But he is the focal point of that whole squad. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. If you can
Hmm.
isolate Holland, you can stick yourself to
You can have a
Grealish
go.
and
I,
Foden,
I agree with you, my
and
brother. You
it can
can
be
have a
done. We
go.
saw it. It can be done. You
Hmm.
know, but the thing is that we can't control what City do or don't do, right? Our own
Exactly.
destinies are our own hands. So coming up to the season, Tony, man, we've got to just bear down, don't give anything away, and not make any
True.
stupid mistakes. And,
True.
and Carl, I 100% agree with you too. Totally agree. He is undroppable. He's undroppable, right? Because we don't have the right depth to fill that role.
To
If we
fill
would
that
have
role.
gotten
See,
Diaby, which I've
see,
said now for
the
months,
transfer window is
I'd be
still
a little less
open.
worried.
But see, Dahlia, the transfer window
But
is still
Jesus on
open.
the right
Who
window.
should we go and get right now? A deadly striker that can come in and get us 30 goals this season. Because Erling Haaland might, see, we'll just piss these guys off. Yeah?
Right,
In the Charity Shield.
right,
Yeah?
right.
We'll piss them off.
They're bad.
These
Right, they're going
guys
to be
will
bad.
literally go on a 30 match unbeaten run. It's possible. It's in their wheelhouse. They
Right.
can do it. Yeah, it's not impossible because we just piss them off.
If we
To
had
Poland.
if we
Yeah.
had
See,
real balls,
we
Tony, if we
need a
had
striker who will give
real
us 30
balls,
goals in a season.
here's who we
Where
need.
do we go find the striker right now?
We call it PSG, and we say we're going to give you Odegaard, who they want and they value around 80 to 90 mil. And I'm going to get, hopefully, don't get
Martin
swayed in the comments
Odegaard.
for this.
That's a big
That's
reach.
who they want. That's who they want. They want him or Martinelli, and I'm not giving them Martinelli. They can have Odegaard and cash, and you bring fucking Mbappe to Arsenal. If you want to run with the big dogs, you've got to spend the money and get
You
off
got
the
to spend
porch.
the money to
Go,
swim with the
go,
big
go.
shark.
Go
Whoa.
sell Odegaard, get 90 mil for Odegaard because I think his value is around 80, 85. Put that on top of the Mbappe price and bring in
Mm.
another 100 mil, whatever, you know? The money is there. And that is the statement you make. Because there's the only other one I want is Lautaro Martinez. Maybe Jonathan David, maybe. But Lautaro Martinez ain't going nowhere. They just made him captain at Inter, and
Is not so cool.
they're leaving
Ivan
Lukaku.
Tony. How about Ivan Tony?
Okay, guys,
Ivan
please.
Tony. Ivan
We
Tony.
are not
In
getting
January.
Ivan Tony.
Put
It's
Trossard
not
in
going
the
to
number
happen.
9 position
It's not
Go
going to
and
happen.
right now, pull that
Arteta
thing up,
hates
go
him.
to Brentford,
Remember, he put
yeah,
up the
go
tweet
and
that when they
colonize
beat
that
us,
place once
he put up
again,
the tweet that Tony
and ask for
said shit
Ivan
about him.
Tony.
He's
Ask for
he's
Ivan
good, and
Tony.
it's not going to happen. It's
Ugh,
not going to happen. I don't think Ivan Tony's even in Arteta's realm
for
right now,
sure.
guys. I
I know
really
you
don't.
guys
I don't
want
think he's on
more.
his
You want
radar at
more of
all.
me and Dow.
I
Yeah,
just
I know
don't
you
think
guys
he's. I
want.
mean, yeah, he's great, but he's just not on Arteta's radar, guys. I just don't think he is. I
But
think you said
is it
it.
that?
Lee Gunner
See,
said it.
is
I
it
think
that
Jack
Ateta doesn't
mentioned
like
it.
Ivan Tony?
TJ's mentioned
Because
it.
I like the idea of an Ivan Tony. He's strong.
But it's
His
just
hold up play top notch. He's strong in the air. He could use his head. He can out muscle players. See, is your orthodox, yeah? Is your orthodox
I don't know what
traditional
you guys
striker
see in him
and the
either.
whole kind of striker, the
He's
fox in the box we need.
but
That
he's
guy that will
good.
patrol the 18-yard
He's
box and
good,
stay
Tony, but
around
he's
there and get
not
those
great.
loose balls and
Ivan
score.
Tony is not going to get us to a Champions League semifinal. Ivan Tony is not going to get us a Premiership title. He's missing the first 6 months of the season. We're not going
Uh,
to buy him in January,
I wasn't
bro.
even thinking about that anyway.
No, I mean, if we were going to buy him, we would know that he's a priority. He would be linked in BBC. He'd be linked with the Sun. We would be talking about it more. He's not linked to the club, guys. It's not going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, if he comes in, hey, douse in the mud. Fair enough. But
Hey,
it's just
fair
not
enough.
going to happen, guys. I just don't. There hasn't been any real contact. I haven't heard anyone say in any of these streams that Ivan Tony's linked to Arsenal. Not one time. I've
Not
always heard
one
that it'd be
time.
nice to have him.
Not
Yeah,
one
it's fucking
time.
be nice
And
to
I
have
want to be
Mbappe
linked
and
to the
Vinny
best players
Jr.
in the
too.
league.
Yeah,
I want to be linked to all of them. Kylian Mbappe, all of them. Nima, I want to be linked to all these guys.
right.
Where are the rumors?
I
Yeah,
would
the
take
rumors of
Pedro
Ivan Tony.
Gonçalves right
Yeah,
now. A
yeah,
lot of
David,
players.
these killers, Vlahovic. Yeah, I need these guys.
Yeah,
I need these guys to come to this team and just
well,
help us get a Premiership
yeah.
title.
I'm
Because see, Dow man, we need a striker that will get 30 goals for
right.
us.
Well, sure.
It's a must.
For sure. But the thing is that is is Ivan Tony the one that's going to get us 30 goals, Tony? Come on, dig deep, Tony. Spew on it. Is Ivan Tony going to get us 30 goals? No,
I don't know.
no,
No, I don't think so. I don't think
no.
so.
Well,
But
then
he can get us
there's
at least
those
20.
arguments
At
for
least he
Tony
can
right
get us
there. If
20.
you want 30 goals, bro, you're talking Lautaro Martinez, Mbappe. Somebody help me out. Other top
Maybe
strikers,
David,
right?
maybe Vlahovic, maybe Victor
Maybe
Osimhen
Vlahovic,
can give you
maybe,
30
but it's
goals in a
almost a
season.
guarantee with Mbappe and Martinez. Almost, I think Lautaro
Mm.
Martinez is a top player. He's gone missing a bit at Inter, Argentina, whatever, but he is a top striker. I don't give a shit what the critics say, right? I
Yeah,
mean, he took Inter to a Champions League final, right?
a Champions
So
League final.
there you go.
Yeah,
But he's not leading Inter.
and guys, please,
So,
let's don't disrespect let's don't disrespect these things. Yeah, Gabriel Jesus is not a 30 goal striker. It's not a 25 goal striker. Come on, man. Even in his heyday, yeah, it,
Jimmy knows what he is.
at his
Right.
biggest height, yeah, in
Horrible.
Manchester City, he's only scored 14 goals. Yeah, he's not that striker that will take Arsenal to the next
However,
level.
yeah, but
He can
however,
lead
Tony,
the play, he can create chaos, he can, do all those, bravado in and about, the 18-yard box and outside the 18-yard box. But I'm sorry, he's never in the 18-yard box at the end of those loose balls. He can't get us those goals that we need.
Tony, when's the
It's
last
not
time you saw
possible.
Tony?
So we need a striker.
My
A
only
striker
counter
needs
for
to come into this team.
my only counter for having Jesus stay in the team is that he is our number 9 and he got a lot of goals last season with a World Cup. We have yet to see him in the red and white with a full 38-week game.
Hmm.
I was injured at World Cup.
Okay.
Bring back in.
Guys.
I'll go through somewhere and comes in and does.
All right,
We
we're
have
gonna
to see them when the World Cup is not interfering with our schedule. He may produce. I think there's 20 goals in Jesus. I don't think there's 30. I don't think there's 24. I don't think there's 25. There's a maximum of 20. 19, 21, okay, whatever. But he is not.
Jesus can't score more than 15 goals in a season. I'm sorry. Even
But
in
he can
City,
get
yeah,
20.
he
without a
can't
World
get
Cup
up to 15.
interfering. Without a World Cup, he can get 20. If he can get 14 without, or 11, 12, 13, 14, forgot his tally, with a World Cup, he can definitely do 20 without a World Cup. That's only 6 more goals to reach that 20 level. I'm doubtful too. But the thing is that he's a better finisher than Havertz. He's miles and levels better than Nketiah. And we don't really know what Balogun brings it to the table. So really, Jesus is really kind of all we've got
At
right
least give
now.
Balogun a chance. Give Balogun a chance.
I,
See, man,
I think
I
I
don't
think he's
know.
playing terrible cup
If
games.
Inter Milan is going for Balogun for £50 million, yeah, there's a reason.
Right.
If this guy is worth 35 to £40 million to Inter Milan, yeah, that's approximately what an English team will pay for that guy. It's
70.
about 50, 60. Yeah,
Yeah.
if the
Okay.
Italians are
Fair
bidding
enough.
for him 35 to 40. Yeah, there's something in that
Well,
kid.
that's the debate too,
There's
Tony. That
something. They know.
Rasmus Holland with only I think 9 goals for Atalanta went to United for 70 mil. So if Balogun's got like twice
Exactly.
as much as that practically and more,
Oh my God.
the value's got to be up.
Oregon Gunnar is shameless, yeah, guys.
You know?
Oregon Gunnar is shameless. See, Ireland, yeah, the guy that just went to Manchester United, £70 million. That's what
Yeah.
Manchester
9 10
United
goals.
sold, got this guy from Atalanta. This guy has only scored 9 goals in 32 appearances.
They bought
Yeah,
basically another Mikhailo Mudryk, basically, because he only had 9
exactly.
or 10 goals for
And they
Shakhtar
spent that money
as
on him.
well.
In
So
God's
Balogun's got to be
name,
worth 85,
how
90
is
mil. If that guy's worth 70,
how is Balogun worth £30 million to the Italians? How is Balogun still worth 50 million to this Arsenal team?
well,
That should be
Inter's
going
making a
out
page
for
out of our
70, 80
negotiation,
million.
but well, Inter
It should
needs
be
to
going for 80,
send somebody
80,
else to
70
negotiate
million.
because it's not right.
These guys are clueless.
Yeah, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think Inter probably doesn't. Maybe their technical director doesn't know the English market that well. I don't know.
I
Right?
think
I mean, maybe they're
I
taking
think
a page out of our book of lowballing fucking clubs. Right? I
I
mean,
think
this
he
knows
needs
what
an introduction course.
these Italian
I think
clubs are
he
kind of
need,
wooey. They do some weird shit. But
I'm telling
but,
you,
but
man.
is Holland with Hoyland with 9, 10 goals of 70 mil, Balogun top performer in the
Balogun
French
with
league
20,
for
21
years of
goals.
the season with 22
Make
goals
that make
has
sense,
to
guys.
be 75, 80, 90 mil. But
Make
but
help me
he's
make
not a
sense
90
with that.
million player. I mean, I think he's decent, but I mean, for to be that much, you would be almost at a Mbappe level to claim.
To
That's a
claim,
bit
yeah,
high. Maybe that's a
exactly.
bit much.
See,
90
yeah,
million. I mean,
guys,
I
we've come to
I
the
wouldn't
end
say
of the
90 million
show.
thousand. It's
One
just
hour, 30 minutes of back and forth. Me and my guy Oregon Good. See, it doesn't get. You see, guys, yeah. You see the chemistry, yeah, guys. You see the bullets. You see the po. You know, me, me. See, yeah, me and the Oregon Gunner, we just went po for 1 hour, 30 minutes. You
right.
have to
And I mean,
join
I'm
us.
going to go
You
one
have to
more
join us
pro.
next
Is
week,
that
guys.
is that one more pro too, Tony, for transfers? Is we have the money for Mbappe. We can break our wage structure.
Hmm.
He's sitting there ready to go. I mean, he wants Madrid, but I still think that there's a part of him that if we absolutely pay the money, pay him what he wants, which is going to be
He can
astronomical,
come.
and say that you're going to be the catalyst of change for this club in the future.
True.
You're the future of this club. You're the next Henri. We'll give you the 14. Make it happen. The money's
Make it
there.
happen. Arsenal, make it happen. We have the
Make it
money.
happen.
We're a big institution. We have the money. Yeah, go in,
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe, and just forget about buying a striker in the next 4 seasons.
Or
Yeah,
yeah.
because this guy is enough. Is enough. Yeah, and we'll win the league easily.
And I know that
This is
sounds
the guy,
crazy
the
to a lot of
perfect guy that fits the jigsaw. Yeah, Arsenal, go get the striker. And anyway, even if Jesus wasn't even injured, we
people.
needed a striker anyway.
Right. But I still want to
We
see what
needed a
Jesus can
striker
do in a
anyway
normal schedule
because
season,
Jesus is never in the box.
without
He's never in
the
the box.
silly World Cup breaking up the season. I want to see him week in, week out without World Cup crap. And
Hmm.
obviously, unfortunately, we're not going to see him. Probably miss. I don't think we're going to see him for the United game, which I think is the third game of the season. I think he'll be out for that, unfortunately.
Big
But
ups
we'll
to
have Danny again,
Danny.
so
You came quite late, man. You missed the show, yeah. You missed the fire for fire with me and Oregon Gunner, man. Yeah,
yeah,
you missed the show, but don't worry, you have to come back next week. And next week is gonna be a big one because by the weekend, Arsenal would have played their first match,
yep,
this season. So it's a big one. Me and Oregon Gunner, we're gonna have big mouths next week because this is
it'll be
put up or
crazy.
shut up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the season where we have to hold these guys accountable. Number one, a season where we have to support the team. Yeah,
Mm, right.
not the manager. I don't care about this manager. I don't care about this anyone who is in this team. Yeah, I don't care about anyone. All I care about is Arsenal Football Club. Let's go to this Nottingham Forest. Let's get the win. Yeah, let's win. Let's just have a good start
Mm.
to the league campaign, yeah. And
Yeah.
let's show these guys that Arsenal is here to stay. Oregon Gunnar, do you have any final thoughts?
My final thoughts is we just have to come out strong, Tony. The first game of the season against Forest. I hope we do them 4-5-0, make a statement. I don't want to see Zinchenko at left back because I want to give Timber a real chance. And I actually, the more I think about it, I want to give Gabriel Jesus a fair chance. We just brought him in last season. He's got a 4-year contract. He's going to be smack dead at the middle of his contract at the end of this season. Let's see what he can do without a World Cup. And Saka, again, is the least of our worries. I'm more worried about our defensive line and our
Mm.
keeping those guys fit and Thomas Partey fit. Other than that, man, thank you so much for a great show today. I'm glad we got to get in there and stir it
What a
up.
show, man.
We're going to
We,
have a hell
we
of
stirred lots of stuff today, man.
a
We
stuff, a lot of
stirred the
content.
pots today. We stirred
Stirred
the
the pot.
pots.
And like Danny said, it's going to be a very interesting season because you see teams
Yeah.
like Aston Villa who are going to go full throttle for top four. And Unai Emery's
Mm.
going to have them well drilled. And
It has
Newcastle
done well drilled.
cutting
Yeah.
for top four. It's going to be a very tough season, I think. And without the World Cup, I want to see what we can do in a real season. Because
Yeah.
last year was, sort of a fluke in
Yeah,
some
it
ways
was. It
for a
is.
lot of
It's
us
just up and
fans.
down. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but if we take the motivation again from Barcelona and the win at City, although it's preseason, it's motivation for the players. It helps build their confidence in taking on these tough teams. Shout out to you, Tony. Shout out to the chat. I love you all. Carl, you're the best looking Irishman I think I know, um, even though your pick says otherwise. But shout out to
Shout out to
Jamingo.
everyone who came to this show today,
Yeah.
guys. Shout out to you. You guys are the true heroes. Thank you for coming to the show today. Keep supporting this channel, yeah. Keep showing love to Oregon Gunner. It's part of the gang. It's part of our, it's part of our brotherhood. So keep showing love to him. By the way, Oregon Gunner, where can they find you?
I think I'll be on. Actually, I'm I'm going to be camping this weekend, so I'm going to be gone Thursday all the way to Sunday. So Sunday when I
Ooh,
get home, I'm going to have to really get up on my highlights of everything. So yeah, unfortunately,
yeah,
I'm going to miss the first game of the season, but it's a it's a tradition I do with a lot of buddies from school, guys I've
yeah,
known since I was like a kid. We go camping at friends' property, a bunch of alcohol, drugs, all that.
yeah. Lots of
So it'll be a
crunk
fun
in the
weekend
house.
hanging
And,
out with
and, I,
buddies.
and I hope you'll be sending me most of
I'll,
your
I
videos.
won't have much internet
You
service.
take
The
lots of
internet,
legendary videos, man, and send to me,
I'll
man.
spend what I can, but you won't get them until probably Sunday when I have Wi-Fi again. But yeah, it'll be a fun time. But I am kind of gutted to miss the first game of the season. I was really looking forward to that. But it's just one of those things.
Mm,
We do this every August, so yeah. And there will be bears and wolves around. You can hear the wolves howling at night when you're camping out there. It's definitely out in the woods. Beautiful
yeah,
part of Oregon, the central part of the state. It's near Bend, Oregon. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but it's beautiful, like part of the country.
yeah.
But yeah, thanks again, Tony, for a great show. Shout out to the
Of
chat.
course,
You guys
man.
are
Great
all
show. See,
legends.
guys, yeah.
And
Come back next week
next Monday's
and
going to be
support
fire.
me and Al again on Monday. Yeah, we'll be coming with a brand new episode 3, guys. And because of your support, see where we're taking the show to. This is what we can get with your support. Yeah, your support. Big ups, everyone, from me and Dal, my guy.
Bye, bro.
We out.
We out.